Please stay there this time. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I hope that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'm sitting back in a chair that does not squeak. Yes, I know that you guys are very much looking forward to more squeaky chair videos, and it will return in Avengers Doomsday. But for now, I'm sitting back in a chair that does not squeak, relaxing, and having a little conversation with all of you guys about the I word, investing. Because, yeah, someone reached out to me on Discord the other day. We had a nice, lovely conversation. It was mostly about video games, but the conversation started with them asking me, hey, Uncle Frank, what is your general investment strategy when it comes to trading card games? And before we begin this video in earnest, I just want to say, go back to my channel, look at any of the videos I put out for certain sets or TCGs or whatever, and you'll know that very rarely do I ever put out videos talking about, oh, you should buy this X, Y, or Z product for A, B, or C reasons, I never say, Journey Together is the best Pokemon set ever, and it's only going to go up. You should buy it now. I don't say shit like Toon Chaos is the best Yu-Gi-Oh set of the modern era, and you should buy it while it's still under $300 a box. I don't say things like, Battle Bond boxes are still hilariously underpriced. Buy now, buy now. I don't say that stuff because I think that there's other channels you guys can go to get much better breakdowns for why you should or shouldn't buy certain products. But also part two, I firmly believe that nobody can predict the future. Nobody can tell you what the price of a box is going to be tomorrow for a given product. And I want this channel to be more about me just talking about why I enjoy the things I enjoy. And behind the scenes a bit, why I do some of the things that I do. So, with all that said, I do think it's fair to, I do buy and sell quite a lot. So why not talk about my general approach to it? Which brings me to my second preamble. That's right, chapter 2 of the prologue. So, strategy is a bit of a strong word for me because I am very much what I like to call an opportunistic buyer. I don't hyper-analyze a bunch of products. I do look at, do I think that this thing is undervalued for whatever reason? Maybe it's a popular set that I think is maybe being overlooked by the market. Do I think it's rarer than it's letting on? Do I think for how old something is, it's a bit cheap at the time? There are some questions I ask myself when I approach a purchase, but the number one question I ask is, how much bang can I get for my buck? 9 words? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, by that I mean, what combination of items gets me the most stuff? If you have $100, $1,000, let's say you have a budget of $1,000 every month, okay, and you can spend that $1,000 however you want. You could buy one single $1,000 collector booster box. I don't know what it is. And these are whatever the set is, let's say it's the Boondocks Universes Beyond. That'd be a fucking hell of a cartoon to give to Magic the Gathering. I used to love watching the Boondocks. Anyway, let's say that there's a Boondocks Universes Beyond collector booster box, right? These are $1,000, and the market's eating these up. You're a check-in TCG player. You see that there's daily sales. 10 are selling a day. It's wild, the amount of money that's moving, and the market's quickly drying up. So you could buy one of those for $1,000, and hey, in 30 days, that could be $1,500. In 90 days, it could be $2,000. Just at the current rate boxes are leaving the market. It's wild and maybe a bit unrealistic, but it is a chance. And you could take that risk. Throw $1,000 on the Boondocks box and see where it goes, right? I don't like to spend all my money in one place. I don't like to all my eggs in one basket? Is that the idiom? I think so. Instead, I like to spread that cash out and diversify. Because, yeah, diversity is king, especially in the world of collectibles. I don't believe any one person can predict where something will be tomorrow, much less 90 days out. Sure, again, you could guess, you could give a good breakdown and an analysis for why something is perhaps going to go up. And maybe you're right that it does go up, but how much is it going to go up? What's its price point going to be at in 90 days? It's hard to guess. It's easier, I think, to guess when the market's booming. You know, every Pokemon set for the last almost 2 years now has done pretty freaking good at release, which is probably safe to say that the upcoming Pitch Black, today or tomorrow, I think it's releasing, it's probably going to do good. Maybe it'll do awful. Some people are saying it's going to go to 0, in fact. I don't think it is. I think it's going to do fine. I think it's not going to be a dud of a set like some people think, just because Pokemon is still very popular. The summer cooldown for TCGs has not been nearly as bad as last year's was. But maybe I'm wrong. And because there's a chance that I'm wrong, I like to have as many chances at being right as possible. That's why I like to split that cash up. You know, $1,000 all in one place, all parked in one item. Not smart for me, in my opinion. In my opinion. Yeah, I get to say that again. But $1,000 parked in all kinds of different items and a little diverse net of items. I like that a lot. You know, shout out to Full Moon Games. I've been watching a lot of his content lately. He's a good channel, fun dude. But he's been talking a lot lately about buying things that nobody wants and ignoring hype. And in my opinion, that is excellent advice and an excellent way to build up inventory, standing inventory in your store, whether it's online, in person, whatever. You know, ignoring hype, ignoring the things that are being bought up at lightning speeds and buying things that you think are still good products fundamentally, but are just being ignored by the wider market, is a really good way to build up an excess pile of stuff that perhaps someday very soon can be highly desirable. And I'm going to give you guys some examples. The first one is these Oath of the Gate Watch intro packs. When I bought this set of 5, it's one of each, they were $10 a piece. Now, I think the cheapest one is about, I want to say $25 for the cheapest one. And I'm going to sell them as a set, perhaps in the next few days. Now, I did not buy these because I thought they were going to double in price in a year's time, because I did buy these about a year ago. A year or two ago, maybe 2 years maximum. It was not that long ago. I did not buy these because I thought they were going to double in price. I bought them because it was $50 for a set. I figured, hell, that seems pretty good. Some cool promo cards. I told myself maybe I'll open them. Maybe I'll keep them sealed. But for what it is and how old it is, $50 is a great price tag to pay. Especially since a lot of the Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch stuff has been disappearing by the time I was buying this. I was actually, when I bought these, I was looking for Battle for Zendikar fat packs. I couldn't find any for a decent price. So I ended up grabbing these, and lo and behold, it turned out pretty well. You know, examples of items I think are currently hilariously underpriced for what they are. In the world of Magic the Gathering, it's no secret that Final Fantasy as a product is amazing. Doesn't matter if it's the regular play booster boxes or the collector booster boxes. People love that shit. And I believe, very firmly, maybe I'm wrong, but I firmly believe that 5 to 10 years down the road, it's not going to matter what the product is. If it has Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering in the name, it's going to be a slam dunk home run. And for that reason, I think those commander decks are underpriced. A full set of the 4 commander decks for the regular ones, not the collector versions. No, those are $600. That's a good price tag for them, I think. But I think that under $200 for a set of 4 is disgusting. And I keep buying them. And I keep telling myself, I do crack them from time to time just to sell some loose ones, even then at a profit. But my overall goal with that is to sit on it for quite a while, because I think $200 for those, especially when we see where a lot of Universes Beyond products go over a 2-year period, I think $200 for a set of 4 is super cheapo mode. To get things out of the safe mode, you know, I talked about this before on the channel not too long ago. This is the Chronicles deck. That's bad glare. Awful glare. This is the Chronicle Spirit Charmer deck. A full premium Chronicles deck Spirit Charmers. Yeah, all foil deck. Really cool stuff. I grabbed this box when the set dropped, and it was about $120 for a set. Now, this is perhaps the worst performing modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, at least since I've been buying them since 2019. That's about when I started buying them again. And I have a whole stack of Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks over there. And I can safely say that this is the worst one so far, because right now it's between $40 and $60 online for that display. That's half at best of its initial release price, which is wild to think about, especially given just what it is. Charmers are a very popular collectible archetype. It's an anime tie-in. I think that's good. And overall, I think even at $60, it's really cheap. So I ended up, not even earlier today, I have bought 2 more. Looking forward to when those arrive. And I bought more Final Fantasy stuff, like I said, lately too, just because I'm happy to throw, like, what, $180 per display at that? It's crazy stuff. You know? But there's plenty of other stuff out there. There's all kinds of, not just from living card games, but from dead card games. The Mega Man TCG, I've said, I keep buying that stuff just because I like the product, and I very much don't want to live in a world where I can't have any more boxes of that to crack. So whenever I see one cheap enough pop up online, I do tend to impulse buy it. Sure, I also sell the stuff because, you know, buy it for 30, ends up going to 50, kind of have to take that because it is what it is. Making money is important. But at the same time, I do like to have some kept in reserve for myself just so I can have it, you know? So there's the other thing, like, do I want it? And yeah, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I've talked about it before on the channel. If you like the product, if you want the product, if you're going to be happy if it goes to 0 because you're going to crack it open and play with it, or have fun with your family and friends, you know, that's the best kind of thing you can buy, is things you're confident in, but also things you like. If these go to 0 tomorrow, I'm fine holding on to them forever. Just because I know that at some point I'm probably going to crack them open and play with them. Same with the Charmer deck, same with the Final Fantasy deck, same with most things that I buy. I try to avoid, the only thing I try to avoid buying besides the stuff that is super expensive is the stuff that I know for a fact. Like, if I crack that open and just have fun with it, will I have fun with it? And the answer is no. If the answer is no, I probably won't buy it, regardless of, you know, obviously with some exceptions. I tend to avoid that kind of stuff. I bought battle cards because that was like $10 for a box. It was a good video, but don't play battle cards. It's an awful game. You know, to wind it back to Pokemon a bit, you know, Pitch Black is here, and looks fine. It's a Darkrai set. It's got some cool stuff in it. It's got what I think is going to be one of the most playable and collectible cards for the while, that Misty card. I think it's like $40 plus right now, which is crazy. But the set itself has some negative outlook. You know, some people are doing that whole panic thing. Oh, get rid of it now while you can, sell it while you can, all that jazz, acting like it's going to plummet under $200. And you know what? If it does, I'm going to grab more of it. You know, I did grab a small pile of some just to have. I'm going to rip it open and throw the singles on TCG Player because Pokemon singles do really good. But if the booster boxes go under 200, that's closing in on MSRP. So, you know, I know the naysayers like to avoid things when everyone's negative on it, but at under $200 a box, most Pokemon boxes are probably a solid pickup for me, in my opinion. You know, basically what I'm trying to say here is, how far can I stretch $1? Loads of guesswork goes into this. Obviously, like I said, try to do my best to guess at what's going to be a good product down the road, what will be nice to open, what will be nice to sell, and all that jazz. This stuff, it can go up, but it can also flatline for years. Like, there's some Yu-Gi-Oh! Tins over there in a corner in that case, and those have not moved since I purchased them like 3 years ago. They're just not wanted. Nobody wants them, and I'm happy to sit on them. So it could flatline for years or go down even. But for me, you know, in my experience buying and selling stuff, I would much rather have an inventory full of diverse product with potential, instead of one item that's highly sought after and sells out instantly, leaving me with nothing to work with as a store. So that's my overall outtake. To summarize, I am, like I said, a bit of an opportunist. I have a certain budget that I go into every so often, and I want to see how much I can get with that budget. I try to avoid buying one fat item, especially when there's a bunch of cheaper items that I like that I can get for the same price. So let me know what you guys think. Let me leave a comment below. Tell me how you guys think budgeting and investments and all that shit should be handled. And of course, the Discord, the Patreon, the TCG link, and the eBay. All that's down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.